Welcome guys to another episode of the Rize. Now on today's one, I'm going to be taking you through my full push session and also a little side segment on how you can actually structure your push days. And to go straight into it, I think the best way you can structure your sessions is by breaking down the muscles that you want to improve. So again, the way that this session is put together is very much based around like chest primarily, and then shoulder focus second. So you'll see through this session that you watch, the way that we're structuring the exercises is so that we can put the most into chest first and then slowly work around other muscle groups. And that's a real good way to start your sessions, is by deciding which muscle group you want to put the most attention to and then kind of working down like a hierarchy of muscles basically. So you'll see we start with incline bench, which will be 2 different set types. So a heavier set and then a lighter set, which will be tempoed, you'll see, with a slight pause. Then into shoulder press, pec deck, then triceps and some more delts. So again, we're working through like a little bit of a hierarchy, and you'll see through this full session today. You know when you touch a weight for the first time, it's like the confidence building set. Like you touch, remember when we first done 140? Just to break that barrier. Oh yeah. Easy, lovely. Good. Flying. Drive. Yes. Good again. Drive. Power through. The little power tap. We always have the power tap.
Spot without needing to
yeah,
spot.
yeah. Woo, let's go. Three, 2, 1.
All yours.
Nice. Oh, nice. Got to the 3 and I was like, shit. Yeah, easy. So guys, you'll see with that set, even though it's the same exercise, top set and back off set, we're both perform with different tempos. This is something that you can utilize in your training to basically get more out of the sets and make it a bit more interesting than just like top and back off set. I also think as well, from like a standardization standpoint, it's so much easier to have a set tempo to go from, especially as again you transition from like growing to dieting. Having that set point with your tempo allows you to then just replicate that as you go throughout any phase.
What people don't actually know is that I was anorexic before we started.
Only 3 months ago. If you want to donate to his page.
3-month transformation, thanks to Cal. Let's just go in for stuff.
It was good. In a theoretical world where we'd see how much numbers and weight we'd be on with each other and without each other, just to see the difference in numbers. I'd like to see the difference, would you?
We already know there's a difference though.
Yeah, but like with how much? So like as in, from this what we started to what we finish at. Because there's times where you've upped it and I've been like, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to do it now. And then vice versa all the time.
Just spur each other on. Yeah. Find a hole, that'll help. You took it up.
I've written
Did we
it
not
down.
go
I'll have
12 and
a
a half?
look. It was, wasn't it? Because I remember, yeah.
We went, mate, this gym pin, it just gets toxic.
10.1.25. Did you go 2.5 then? I'm sure you
we
went 2.
2.5.
I went 1, and I'm sure you went 2. Because you got 9 or 10 the last time, I'm sure.
So what are we on now?
So
12
10,
and a half?
10 and a 2.5. Yeah.
Let's
So
move.
we're looking at a Bible.
Let's move one there. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today for the sake of gains.
Amen.
Amen.
Oh, easy. Good. Yes, flying, easy. Good, and again. Yep, again. Drive it through. Look. Nice. Wow. What's that, 7 or 8?
8.
Jesus.
Catch me, boy, catch me. Come on, Cal. Yes, 2 in it. Here he goes. Drive.
Oh, shit. Weirdly, that felt lighter than...
Just go away. Get out.
Oh, brilliant. That felt weirdly like different resistance.
9.
Do you think? Or was that just
Got
me?
what? Better.
No, it just felt different with more weight on it. You know how like the adductor at Culture?
It almost feels more stable.
Yeah, that's what it just feels like it's
But
locked in.
I think this is where it then, where you find your true potential in strength versus the flex within that. Because you're moving more load, you're having to brace harder and exert more, which oddly enough,
Yeah, I know what you mean. You kind of get more involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mate,
Nice.
if you just went and got 9, and this is what happens. So it starts at reps. It started with reps, didn't it? It was just 1 rep up, 1 rep up, 1 rep up. Then it was weight.
No, it's 5 kilos in.
Now it's... Mate.
I reckon that deserves a 5 for a back off now, do you think? Or a 2.5?
Yeah.
It's at that level.
Yes. Yeah, we've superseded stack.
On camera. So one thing we'll constantly do through sessions, guys, is like manipulate our rep ranges depending on how the first few exercises go. It's like this back off here, we've got lower than what we call like a high rep set. So what we then may do later on in the session is put more reps in the pec deck. That way we're kind of just spreading the total amount of reps across the session, across the whole of it, rather than being like, we must hit a 10 to 12 in this rep range, or we must stick to this. Like, if it feels on in the moment and the set feels good, rep ranges are a guideline, not like a must have to stick to.
Come on now. Here we go. I call 2. Yes. All the way. It's okay, Cal. I'll sort it out. I'll just set it all up for you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just your minion, sir.
Would you amend that?
That one needs to come down a touch.
The weight also.
No, yeah.
You've got the little 2.5s on.
Oh.
He didn't even notice. Mango goes, should we tell him?
Now that you said it, there is a slight difference.
So one other thing to take into consideration when you're planning your sessions, guys, is removing all ego. Like, I've definitely been guilty in the past of just programming a session with the exercises that I'm strong at, when if you only do what you're good at, you're never gonna get better. So it is just a case of sometimes stripping back the load and being like, okay, I'm happy lifting less if I can get more out of that, and just really being sensible with the session and dropping the ego out, doing the exercises which you know you need to do and know are going to benefit you, that you aren't necessarily the most strong at. So take the ego out of it, think about long-term gain rather than short-term satisfaction. Yeah, it feels nice. Good. Yeah, man, that's nice. Good. Yeah, good. Yeah.
Yes, Carl, stick with it. Strong. Yeah, come on. Let's see it now. Now we're working. All the way. Let's see one. Dig.
Yes. Shit. Thank you. Don't come as far back. Don't let them shoulders take over there. That's you. That's good. Nice. Good, good, good. Let's go. And again. Keep them shoulders back. Let's go. Chest high. There we go. Again. Good. Right through. Lovely set. Nice. So guys, off the back of that set, right, something I think you need to take into consideration when programming your sessions is working across so many different rep ranges. Like, we've all fallen into the trap of thinking that like a 6 to 8 is the only rep range you can do to build muscle, or this specific rep range tones a muscle a certain way. Like, there's so many like set rules within a rep range that you hear about, when realistically you just want to get strong across all rep ranges. Quoting JP there. But every rep range is going to assist you in some way, shape or form. So make sure your workout's planned in the way that you can cover all rep ranges for all different exercises.
What's currently really annoying me?
Go on. I like these when you go off on one.
You still look cool as a cucumber. I look like I've just run a marathon.
Fuck off.
Coach is like, yeah, sir. This is what you want to do. I'm just like calm, cool and collected. May whilst I'm just
Dying in the background.
what happened to you? I walked up a flight of stairs. Yeah, Cal, on.
So a question you may ask, guys, is how many sets or how many exercises shall I do per session? And I think there's no simple answer to this one, but the best ways to break it down is how intensely can you train? You can train really hard. The likelihood of you needing more than 2-3 sets per exercise is quite slim. If you feel like there's a little bit more you can give in terms of intensity, doing more sets is going to benefit you, so around 3 to 4. Second part to that is also how experienced are you in training? If you can get on a set and really feel a muscle, the odds of you needing more, again, is going to be less. So there are 2 factors to consider when planning how many exercises or how many sets you need per session. Last bit to add to that is also deciding how many times a week you're going to train that muscle group. If you're going to hit chest or shoulders once a week, you can do a lot more in that session. if you're only going to hit chest and shoulders 2-3 times that week, you're probably only going to need 3 to 4 to maybe even 5 sets per session of that week.
Leopard print straps though, don't you? Mango, you know. Some nice feather ones would go down well.
Glittered ones.
Glitter straps. May look questionable, undeniably they work. Here we have the tricep. Here we have the bicep. I would get more technical with that, but I don't know the names.
When you're your size, you don't have to know the names. It's true. It's just true. That part's there, the bicep, is it? Come on, drive. Oh, yeah, nice. I think you're a good example of transitioning from like powerlifting or strength training, sole strength training, to then bodybuilding training. Like, what do you think was like the biggest change for you in making the switch, and like how different or difficult was it to switch from like pulling six and a bit plates off the floor to then doing like 4 or 5 slow with pauses? Like, how did you do that transition?
I think the transition for me was that even though I fell into that more powerlifting / strongman style of training at the beginning, my ultimate goal was always to achieve a bodybuilding look.
Yeah.
That was more just who I trained with. Ultimately, it was who I trained with. I just fell into that.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it because it gives you that sense of
Just lift a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And
it's nice to move load. But
for reference as well, guys, I've seen Rob pull like, 6 when we first started? 6 plates off the ground, like literally nothing. 6'2", which is a lot of fucking brutal strength. So I think, that's a good point you mentioned. And I know for me, like when I first was like training just for strength, I felt like I was strong, but I wasn't getting like the aesthetic benefits from it. And I was seeing everyone lift less, and I was like, how the fuck does he look better when I can lift more?
But the switch into then changing it to bodybuilding style and dealing with what you said almost earlier in dealing with it is the ego side of it, but looking at the constructiveness of how am I lifting this and what am I effectively lifting, when you start to break down the mechanics of how you're lifting it, the weight then becomes completely irrelevant. So when you compare the two, you can't compare a 12 rep set to a single rep max or a 2 rep max. You can't compare the two. So it gives you an entirely different sensation in whichever style you sort of fall into. But
and result at the same time, I suppose.
It does give you a completely different result.
That's awesome.
So it was more than following what I originally intended on setting out for in changing my aesthetic with it. So that felt more...
And then over time you kind of get a combination of both. Like, I feel like we've hit the ground perfect now. We're relatively strong, but also not powerlifting at the same time.
Exactly. You want to be strong, but you want to be able to be functional with it.
And it's taken time.
You don't want to look the part and then not be able to back it up. So either you look strong and you move a lot of weight, or you find that there can be a lot of bodybuilders that are weak as piss, if you like. So you want to find that balance in between, and I think the journey we've certainly led has been that.
Yeah, I'd agree. One more.
One more with me, come on. Push it, all the way. Go on. Blinder.
Not bad.
Man. I'll wiggle in that. Come on. Let's see 10. All the way.
Best that's moved. Best that's moved. Must be the mango effect. You bastard. That is most amount of reps as well.
Exactly. That's up there.
Right, your turn now.
Go on. Hold on. God. Who needs delts?
All right, let's go. Good.
It now. All the way. All the way. Again with me. Ready? Drive. All the way up.
So one thing to keep in mind when you're programming your sessions, guys, is a general rule of thumb, always put your bread and butter compound movements first. And that's so important to make sure that you're able to put as much overall energy into that first or second exercise to get the best bang for your buck when it comes to overall progress. So again, like I said at the start, almost working down a hierarchy in doing like your compound movements first, then slowly trickling down to like isolation-based movements. That's it, Jesus.
Mate, they'll be halfway across the gym with that. Hello over there. Mate, look.
You like a cut phone for like, one more.
What can you possibly... No one needs this much length.
Well. Say again? Yeah, come on, man, let's go.
Yes, Cal, dig. Yeah, get it. So Cal and I like to have a bit of a Mexican standoff on a push day as to who's going to break into a vest first.
Who breaks the seal?
Who's gained the confidence and in the required pump, shall we say, in the session to break into vest scenario. So,
as he's breaking the seal. He's breaking the seal.
As the smaller man.
When the pump's too good, you can't get the tee off. Swole pickle, bro. Job done.
10 out of 10 session.
Go on, you got to finish it off proper.
I can't remember how, that's all I remember was just
11 out of 10.
So 10 out of 10 session today.
For episode 8.
8 pounds down on last week. Feeling good, you know.
That's a wrap. Any questions on push training, how to structure any sessions, drop in the comment below and I'll come back to you on there. But thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for the next episode.